Okay, welcome guys. Welcome back to my channel, and today we will be talking a little bit more about how much more time do you left. Yeah, I know it is a little bit sensitive. Some people, when they heard that, they might not feel comfortable, but well, we all have to face that we don't really have a lot of time left, right? If you really think about it. And if you have got no idea what I'm trying to say, stay tuned, watch until the end of this video to find out more. Well, you see, there's a lot of time, people, they just lack the awareness. They just don't have the urgency to do stuff they are supposed to do, okay? So that they can be who they say they want to become. I would say the biggest problem is because they themselves, they don't set a goal, all right? And the reason for them not to set a goal is because they don't have the awareness of how much time do they actually left. Well, I was just like most of the people out there. I don't suddenly I don't go and create this kind of stuff suddenly, but it was because of during 2020, the year of 2020, and that time I still remember very clearly enough is that there was one day before the Valentine's Day. I was kind of kidnapped by the officer to be locked into a small little room in a resort. Because of I was contacted with a COVID positive guy, and bear with me, that time COVID was a serious issue, okay? So it was no joke, but I'm not going to talk a lot about that. But basically it was when I was locked in the room itself by my own, with the window completely welded. So that is the time that I really reflect on myself. What do I do that got me into these situations, and what could I do differently so that I won't have to experience this again? Because it's not easy. I myself suffering, my wife was suffering, my entire family was suffering because of this. So I just trying to do whatever I can so that to prevent this kind of thing from happening again. So what I do is that I calculate backward of how much time do I actually left until the day I die or until the day I retired. So in this video, I will walk you through exactly what is the thing that I did back then so that you can start doing this as well. Now, the intention is not for you to scare yourself, all right? But the intention here is that I want you to be aware of how much time you left. So you have to start doing what you are supposed to do, and just keep the ball rolling, because time passes quicker than you and I could imagine. So how much more time do you have? Well, in fact, I should put it, how much more time do you left? So what we will do right now is that let's just draw a line, and then we are going to plug in the skill. And now we have got our details in, and basically from what you can see now, this detail is actually an age. So 29 is how old am I now, today, and 60 is the age that I actually, like most of the people out there, they want to retire by the age of 60. So I'll just put 60, and 80 is actually the year that I live this beautiful planet. So of course, I think living until 80 years old is considered pretty good. I wouldn't want myself to live any longer than that if, let's say, my physical health and physical condition is not that good. So let's do a summary here. Boom. So currently 29 years old, and if I die at 80 years old and I want to retire by the age of 60 years old. So now we are going to do the quick math here. Okay, how much time do you left to hustle? So when I say hustle, it means for you to start taking massive action, and for you to start just to keep the ball rolling so that you can make great results to achieve the goal that you want to retire by the age of 60s. And again, the whole exercise here is for you to create an awareness that you need to act fast, right? You need to have the urgency because you don't have much time left. So okay, now I will explain to you in detail what does it mean by 31 years and 365 days. So basically, you see, now I'm 29, okay, and I will calculate the years until age of 60. So it means 31 years left. And 1 year, every single year, we have got 365 days. And with that, it means we're left with about 11,315 days. And then now, this is the time that we sleep on an average. Okay, ideally some of you, well, basically some of you might be sleeping slightly lesser than 8 hours per day, but some of you are sleeping, more than 8 hours a day. Now I'm talking about including weekend as well. So I'll just take an average 8 hours a day of sleep. So if you can see here, 8 hours sleep a day, all right, and 365 days a year times 31 years. So it's about 90,520 hours that you actually spend on sleeping within these 31 years. So that alone, it's already take up 3,772 days. So the time left for you to hustle again, it is 75,436 days. Still pretty good, right? Still pretty good. You still left with a lot of time. But is that really true? Let's continue and do this exercise. Now, this part that I will be sharing with you next is the part that most people is spending huge amount of time in. That is called work. So if you see here, all right, 8 to 9 hours a day. Well, the reason I'm putting 8 to 9 hours is that some of you might be working on overtime. We call it OT. Okay, so 1 hour OT or 2 hours OT, and bear in mind, this calculation does not even including the time that you spend on commuting, you're taking a train or taking a bike or taking a car. Any transportation is not including yet. So let's just put 9 hours a day. I think that's fair enough. Okay, so with all this calculation, you spend around 73,656 hours, which is equivalent to 3,069 days. And again, the time left for you to hustle, you're left with 4,474 days. Still sounds a lot to you? Not really. Now, if we were to be honest with ourselves, most of us, we spend around 1 to maybe 2 hours on, just scrolling the Facebook, checking out someone else's Instagram and watching Netflix and YouTube and all this kind of stuff. So I'll just put into a category called relax. So ideally, if let's say you are just relaxing 2 hours a day, just 2 hours a day, I know most of you spend way more time in this. All right, let's just be honest with yourself. You don't have to tell me, you just have to think. Eventually, you are going to carry out this calculation yourself. So I think it's one thing that you need to do personally, I think, is first of all to be honest with yourself. Because if you were to be honest with yourself, you will then realize that you don't really have a lot of time left. So that is, I hope that alone is going to be a little turning point, a little, like life-changing point, so that you can really have the urgency and start, setting out a goal and actually achieving it. So if you were to just relax 2 hours a day, and that alone is going to sum up 942 days just spending on scrolling the Facebook and doing some kind of entertaining stuff. So the time left for you to hustle, you're left with 3,532 days. But if we were to be honest, the time left for us to hustle, we are not going to be productive 100%. So let's just say that, let's just suppose that we are as productive as 80%. Okay, so that means non-productive time is actually 20%. So with that being said, the time left for you to hustle is just left with 2,826 days, which is somewhat equivalent to 8 years. You will realize that, first of all, you thought you have got a lot of time, right? You are going to die at the age of 80. But then when you think again, you are going to retire after the age of 60, right? Because let's just be honest, after age of 60, some of you might not be capable to do any works anymore. And and some of you just don't have the energy to, you know, keep hustling. So now suddenly from 80 it drops to 60, right? And with the sleeping hours, the working hours, the relaxed time, and, you know, non-productive time, you actually left with only 8 years for you to, you know, start making progress and all this. I hope in these videos it gives you a better context of how much more time do you left, and why is that important to have this awareness. It was because it helps you to create an urgency, hopefully, right, so that you can start making progress. And the progress is not saying that once you calculate this, you are going to know exactly what you are going to do. It's not that case. So for me personally, after I conduct this, after I do this exercise, I didn't realize that I left with around 8 years or 9. It was about 9 years back in the time when I do this assignment, but until again I do it until today. I do it again, and I realized that I left with 8 years. So it was kind of I can definitely feel the urgency. I don't know about you, but I can definitely feel the urgency. So what I'm going to do next is that I'm going to hold you accountable. So it will be ideally if, let's say, you can do it together with me, okay? So now that you realize that you left with 8 years of time to hustle, so now you want to set a goal. What is the goal that you want to achieve? Let's say by the age of 60. Are you want to be, you know, financially free, or you want to have a stable job, and or you want to, you know, like just getting the passive income from your investment? Whatever it might be, there's no right or there's no wrong. It just, you have to set a goal. All right. So after you set a goal, you reverse engineer it. So what do I mean by reverse engineer? Let's say you want to have a $1 million saving in your bank account. So what you have to do right now is that you have to reverse engineer it. You have to reverse calculate it. So $1 million in, let's say, 31 years. So backward calculate, how much money do you need to save a year? So how much money do you need to save a month? And how much money do you need to make a week or every single day? So that is how you reverse calculate it. And yeah, so that is one of the way that you can actually create an urgency, have the awareness of you don't have much time left, and then you set a specific goal, a time, we call it time-bound goal or time-specific goals. So you need to have the time frame included when you are setting the goal, which in this case, you want to achieve, let's say, a $1 million saving in your bank account within 31 years. Okay, so this is time-specific goal, and then now you have to figure out a way how do you actually achieving it. It could be learning a skill. It could be, you know, go out there and start working on your own business, or you can be, you know, start mixing around yourself with people who have a higher net worth than you and start learning from them. That's actually a lot of way that you can accomplish your goals. If you like these videos and you find these videos helpful, or you find this information helpful, click on the like button, all right? Subscribe to my channel and share it with your friends. And more importantly, put in a comment down below. Let me know if this is helpful or what else do you want to see. So depending on the request, I will be making more videos as per your request. Until then, I will see you in the next videos. Bye-bye.